Hey, how are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day you're actually watching this or the replay? How are you doing on this wonderful day? It is your girl, Lene Javette, and I am Lene Javette. This is the Melanated Air Hour. I really need a horn or something that like, so y'all know to get excited when we walk in the door. I don't do this by myself. I have other beautiful co-hosts. Today with me is Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks. Hey, Teddy.
Hey.
And Keisha at We Inspire Brand. What up, Keisha? How you doing?
Hey.
And today we're going to talk about cancel culture, okay? I'm sure y'all have seen Dave Chappelle in the news lately relative to cancel culture. So we're going to have a discussion about it, which I'm super excited to talk about because I have some emotions and feelings about that. But before we get into that, let me make sure that you know where you're at and what you're doing here. This is the Melanated Air Hour. For the next hour, we're going to talk about things that are happening in the world from a Black perspective. If this is your first time here, please drop in the comments if this is your first time. If you've been here before, say what up, say hi, let us know you've been here before. And if you've been here before, please give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a share. Let people know that this conversation is happening and bring them here into the room because we're going to talk about cancel culture. First of all, have any of you guys seen the Dave Chappelle comedy special?
I saw it.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, I'll say this. This is not a discussion, quote unquote, about the Dave Chappelle comedy special, more as it is about cancel culture in general. But since the Dave Chappelle situation is what is sparking this conversation right now, we have to at least, mention it because we want to know which way you go. So let me ask you this, without putting your personal perspectives out there about what where you sit on the issues. We don't have to have that conversation. But if you saw it, do you feel it should be taken off of Netflix, or do you think it should be allowed to stay? That's part A. And then part B is why. We'll start with you, Teddy.
Repeat the question. I want you to say it one more time just so we all got it. And I want people to comment on the side.
The question is, you said you did see the comedy special.
I did.
Okay. So the question is, do you think that he crossed the line? That's part A. If you saw the special, do you think that he crossed the line? Do you think or that it should be taken off of Netflix? And then part B is, why is that your answer?
All right. So I really adore Dave Chappelle personally. So my personal opinions, I really love Dave Chappelle. I love his message. I've always liked his vision and the way he delivers his message, right? And it's so unfortunate that his message is so often co-opted by the people who want to do what they want to do with it. And that goes back to his infamous turning down of that $50 million for the Dave Chappelle show. He knew he made a very laughing at you. So to answer your question, I absolutely do not think it needs to be taken down. I don't even think he came from a place of malice in what he said. His message to me, and I'll say I was woke, but not like woke in the conscious.
Oh, Teddy, you're coming in and going.
Oh no. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. It's Egypt. That's all I can say. It's Egypt. No, it shouldn't be taken down. His message was clear. It wasn't meant to be malicious. It was meant to make a point. And I think the point was.
And the point is being made right now, basically. I think is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Keisha, what do you think?
I agree 100%. It should stay. It should not be taken down. And I just think in this day and age, we feel that, something hurts our feelings, so it should be taken down, or someone says something that we don't like or we don't agree with, so it should be taken down. And the same thing goes for, this Dave Chappelle special, right? But I remember maybe a month or two ago, people were calling to remove Kevin Samuels off of YouTube. And I personally don't agree with a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but I personally don't agree with Kevin Samuels' style. But I'm not going to say that someone should be removed from their platform and how they make money just because I don't agree with something that they are saying. And as Teddy said, Dave Chappelle, it wasn't meant to be malicious. It was meant to make a point. And he made his point. He wasn't saying, anything about harming the LGBTQ community, right? Like, he didn't say anything like that. He said, and I quote, he said, "I am jealous of the LGBTQ community because they've made strides that the Black community have not made," right? So we're looking at them like, wow, how did they get this far in a shorter amount of time? So because it wasn't malicious, because it was meant to make a point, I don't believe that he should be canceled or it should be removed just because there are people that don't agree with it. No one is going to agree on everything. Like, that's what makes us human and unique. Everyone has different perspectives and you can't please everybody. So absolutely not. It should definitely stay.
Absolutely. So I also saw the special. Once I saw the hubbub going on online, I was like, let me go see what this is about. Like, let me go watch it for myself. Yeah. So I watched it and I listened and I critiqued it. So I'm not watching it just to listen, right? As a customer just taking stuff in, I'm listening to it like, okay, let me hear what they're talking about. Where is he being hateful? I'm trying to find it. Like, where is it at? And when it got to the end, I was like, okay, I don't get it. Like, what he said was truth and facts and right and things of that nature with regards to exactly what you said, Keisha. But the reason why I don't think he should be canceled is because what's happening right now is exactly the point that he was making in the comedy special, right? It's bigger, in my opinion, than the LGBT community. It's the fact that you can't be authentic in your own thoughts. You can't have your own emotions. You can't have your own feelings. You can't have your own opinions without mainstream media coming in and saying, we don't agree with your opinion and therefore you should be canceled. Like that's right. Wait, hold on a second. So I have to do everything that you think is right. I have to say everything that you say is right. I have to be politically correct. I can't share my own thoughts and emotions and feelings about a particular thing, or else that group or organization of people are going to come after me and can take my livelihood. That's where I think cancel culture crosses the line. You don't have to like what he said. You don't even have to agree with what he said. But everybody has their First Amendment right. If you don't like it, change the channel. If you don't like it, put something else on. Read a book. Reading is fundamental. There are other things that you can do besides go after Dave Chappelle, right? And then again, right now we're talking about Dave Chappelle because that's what's happening in the news. But this is the issue is bigger. The issue is cancel culture. Who gives, and I like to talk about the wand, who gives you the magic wand? Right. Who gives you the wand of canceling? Who gives, and when I say you, I'm talking about mainstream media, I'm talking about organizations, I'm talking about communities. Who gives you the right to say what is right, what is wrong, who can have, who can live, who can be successful, and who cannot? That, to me, is where this whole cancel culture got it wrong. But also Dave's point on how does a movement of people become bigger than life? When he was talking about when he was giving the baby example, right? Of somebody taking somebody's life, nothing happening to their career, but saying something about a group of people, and now this individual is canceled. So hurt feelings over life. We're canceling people.
It goes deep. It goes deep with that. Now, if I cut out, give me the church finger because I'm looking at the cameras. I won't see something. Give me a church finger. But even he had a previous special where he talked about how you can talk negatively about people in the Black community. You can use the N-word. You can call people bitches and hoes, and you can say all these other words, and that's okay. But you can't say something negative against a group of people that you're either being in comedy or you mean it seriously. And not in an attacking, bullying kind of way, just in a I don't agree with it kind of way, or a mannerism kind of way, or whatever, because that's what comedians do. We're old enough, I think most of us are old enough to remember, if you went to a comedy show and you sit in the front, I don't care what outfit you wearing, too much yellow, if your hair too red, if you with a funny looking dude, if you got too many drinks, you will get tore up and you take it in stride. You don't go to tweet and Twitter and Facebook and cancel this dude because he tore you up. You went to the comedy show and you sat in the front, or you got him to go to the bathroom halfway in the middle of his show. He gonna get you. And that's what comedians do. And it's all in jest, because it is what lightens up the heaviness of the world. And we're not just talking about Dave Chappelle. We're talking about Kyrie Irving. What is that other football player? Andre Wiggins. Yep. And people are trying to cancel them. Their own professions trying to cancel them due to the jab. The Baby and some comments he made several months ago. Kevin Hart and what he said, I think it was last year before he was supposed to host the Oscars. I mean, and they were alluding to something he said years ago.
Like
so now you can't even grow.
Problem.
Right. You can't even grow. You can't evolve. You can't change. I assure you, everyone in the way we thought 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago is much different than you think right now. We have to be able to evolve without apologizing.
Exactly.
And that again for the people in the back.
Right. And I think it's real funny how everyone wants their rights. So they want their freedom of speech and they want their right to do something. But then when someone else does it, it's, oh no, cancel them. So, and I agree with Lene. I was thinking the same thing. If you don't like something that someone is saying, then why are you watching their special? Why are you going there? Like, you have to protect your energy. You have to protect your peace, right? So I can't tell you like, oh, you shouldn't feel a certain way. But I am going to tell you, if you know you're probably going to feel a certain way, why are you going back for more? You already know, that this person may offend you. So why are you putting yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
You gave a great example, Keisha. So I do not agree with Kevin Samuels. I do not watch Kevin Samuels. None of his content is for me. I'm not his target market, like nothing about that. And I may express the fact that I don't get down with him. I don't care for his messaging. I don't care for his rhetoric that he spews to our community. Yeah. But I would never go and say, let's cancel him. Why? Right. Because he has an audience. He's talking to somebody. Somebody loves him. Somebody loves that messaging. And if I'm being truthful and honest with myself, somebody needs to hear it.
Yes.
If I'm being truthful and honest, right? Somebody needs to hear it.
Yeah.
That's the world. That's everything. And if I'm being honest, and don't come for me in the comments, but there is an audience for everybody. The Ku Klux Klan is not the Ku Klux Klan because they don't have nobody that they're talking to, right? Yeah. If we're gonna be out here canceling people, let's go cancel the Ku Klux Klan. Like if we really gonna go out here and use our power to cancel something, let's go cancel some shit that's no good for us. Let's cancel predators. Let's cancel rapists. Yep. Let's cancel the people who are going to jail or not going to jail in the Me Too movement. Let's cancel racism. Like, we're going to really be out here with the cancel culture. Let's go cancel some shit that really needs to be canceled.
Exactly.
We're talking about canceling somebody because they hurt somebody's feelings? That don't make no sense to me. Don't watch it. Don't listen. Don't support. But
these are people that have a whole... And not just the LGBT community. What I'm saying is the people that are doing the canceling have a level of power. They have a level of organization. They have a level of brother and sisterhood. So they have support. They have a whole network of people supporting them. They're too powerful to be canceled. So why are you worrying about canceling somebody? It's the underrepresented and the weak and the disenfranchised that don't have a voice, and they're the victims of a lot of the things you just said, Lene. And nobody's canceling their predators and their offenders and their abusers, and they don't have nobody. These powerful organizations canceling people. Why? What do you gain from that? You already have the power. You already have the networks. You already have the organization. What do you need? Why do you need to cancel?
It keeps people from being. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keisha.
I was just saying staying in power and staying in control, and that's what they're doing. And that's why I respect Dave Chappelle, walking away from that $50 million, right? By him doing that, he said, you can't put a price tag on my freedom. Kyrie Irving as well, right? And there were some comments that were made by Shaq that said, get him up out of here, right? That's what he said about Kyrie because he didn't want to get the jab. So it's like, imagine putting a basketball game in front of your brother's freedom to choose, right? Imagine that. Like, are you really kidding me? So instead of, and I don't know if Shaq had a conversation, I can't say, but I'm just assuming, instead of, saying like, get him up out of here. Why don't you have a conversation with Kyrie Irving and say, hey, why did you choose not to do this? And then we can come to the table and say, hey, I agree with you here. I don't agree with you here. And we can have that respect. But just to say, get him up out of here, let him leave his career, let him leave his passion because he doesn't agree with something that you agree with, it's wrong. Like, and it really makes me upset because we live in a world where it's like, yeah, we want to be free, especially like us as Black people, right? It's like, yeah, we want to be free. We're fighting for our freedom. But then you have this brother to another brother, like, oh no, well, you need to do this. You need to follow these. And it's just like, that's not what freedom is. Freedom is me making the choice for myself, for my life, for my body. And that's it. Like, I made the choice. You respect my choice. I respect your choice. We're done.
Yeah.
Why can't you stand up for me? Why can't you fight for me? I'm sorry, but it really just made me upset. It's just, it makes
on the head. You hit the nail on the head.
The whole cancel culture situation is just ridiculous. So let me reset the room real quick. First of all, thank you for tuning in to the Melanated Era Hour. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. We take the hour to just air out life from a melanated perspective. I am Lene Javette. I do this with Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks and Keisha at We Inspire Brand. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, a share. And I want to come back to the audience. In the comments, right? In the comments, tell us what are some things that should be canceled, right? What are some things that should be canceled? If we're really gonna be out here canceling some stuff, what are some things that should be canceled? Somebody put over here, Patrice said, cancel the rap music that degenerates. I think it says denigrates. Maybe that's what she meant, but I think she's
denigrates, yeah.
Denigrates, yeah. And destroys the image of Black women. Where is the outrage about that? Hello. There are better. So to Keisha's point and to Dave's point, the way that the LGBTQ community comes together and is organized and moves is something to be jealous of. It literally is. Could you imagine? I'm gonna take a minute. I'm gonna speak slow. Can you imagine what we as Black people could do if we organized and came together on a mission, one goal, one movement, and we put our energy and efforts behind it to get something done?
Everyone together at once towards this one purpose, which is our acceptance.
Yes.
Our acceptance or our freedom? Do we want to be accepted? Do we want to be free?
If I'm comparing it to the LGBTQ community, I'm saying accepted, whether you like it or not. I'm going to be here and you're going to look at me and I ain't going nowhere. And I have a whole group of my friends right here with me to support. Absolutely.
I think it's acceptance. I think it's freedom.
Yeah.
I think it's I just had it in my head. Liberation. Right? Respect. Like you can't disrespect them. You can't. They got hate crimes. They are more respected and have more laws to protect them than we do as a race of people.
And that's deep because that goes back to regulation, lawmakers. That's a lot. And it's not agreement, right? They don't need your agreement, but they need acceptance, and they're getting it. So to your original question,
I can't hear you. I know.
I'm so passionate about why we can't get there, and I wish we could. I wish we could. But this is why we have the Melanated Air to bring it out there. At least we got to do our part. We're doing our part. That's all I can do.
This is why, though. This is why we can't get there, because we can't respect, not us, because we respect, but as a whole, we can't respect the differences, right? So if you think about white supremacy, we have white supremacy on the Democratic side and the Republican side, right? Democrats and Republicans, they don't agree, but white supremacy, they're able to maintain white supremacy because they know that is the goal, right? That is the ultimate, like, okay, even though we're not agreeing on these policies or whatever, the ultimate goal is to maintain white supremacy. But then you have us in the Black community, we see them like, oh, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. So that means I have to go with the Republicans. I have to go with the Democrats instead of being B1. We're not B1, right? We're B1 us in here, but collectively we are not B1. We're not saying we are Black first, Democrat, Republican, whatever, and then down the line second. Whereas with white supremacy, they understand white supremacy first, Democrat, Republican, Christian, Muslim, whatever it is, second, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's why we're not moving in this movement, even LGBTQ, right? Like, I feel like, and I'm not saying everyone, I feel that a lot of Black people, they identify with that community, and well, of course, but they identify with that community, and that's what they put first. They don't put Black first, right? They're not B1, they're LGBTQ1, where it's like, we need our people to come together and truly be B1.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So the conversation is on cancel culture today. It's relative to Dave Chappelle because Dave Chappelle is, of course, what's sparking this global conversation with regards to what's happening in the world. And if we bring it back to cancel culture, I saw this post, and I hope I don't mess it up, but I saw this post that says, you can't cancel anybody that's over 45 who didn't get their fame from being a social media influencer. I was like, preach on it. Like, our generation, we don't come from the cancel culture generation. You can't cancel somebody who lives by the words that they speak, right? Mm-hmm. Dave walks the walk that he talks. Like you said, he walked away from 50 million. Like, if you're not prepared to put your big draws on, then you can't have a conversation, the type of conversation that Dave's having. What cancel culture does is it wants to punk you into not being authentic. It wants to punk you into not saying what you really think. It wants to punk you into closing your eyes and putting your head in the sand and just going with what mainstream says to do. And unfortunately, that's not how we live. What that does is it allows racism to go unchecked, because if I can't truly say to you that I'm a racist, or if I can't truly say to you how I feel about you, and I have to be PC, how do you really know how I feel about you? I'm bringing my baby in to see you. You're the doctor. I'm letting you do my hair. I'm eating at your restaurant. I'm paying, coming and sitting at your football field, and yet you hate me. If you can't truly say what you think and how you feel, how do I know if I want to patronage you and do business with you? Like, we have to get away from cancel culture. I do not agree with being mean, being a bully, being dirty, being nasty, being intentionally disrespectful or rude to somebody. Right. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think that people should be out here being derogatory to people. That's not what I'm saying. But I definitely think that I should be able to speak my truth about a situation or circumstances. I shouldn't have to worry about being canceled because of what I think. Like, this is what I think. Mm-hmm. You don't have to think that way. You don't have to feel that way. And I'm probably not even talking to you. So you specifically don't have to support me. But there is a group of people and there's an audience that does agree with what I'm saying or how I think and how I feel. And a lot of times when somebody is speaking, that's who they're speaking to. Yes. So what are your guys' opinion on just the concept of cancel culture that says, if we don't agree with what you said today, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we don't agree with what you said. Elisa Bonet was just in the news about something she said about the Vaseline 20, 30 years ago. They brought that back up today. She was talking about the Vaselines from when you're a kid, right? How do you think we should handle people's thoughts and opinions from 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago? Should they be canceled?
If we're going to be an educated and intelligent, non-ignorant society, we have to be able to communicate and talk. If social media hasn't given us anything, it's the ability to express our opinions in a
Teddy, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Get you now.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. We can go onto someone's social media and ask them or say, I don't agree with you. And then wait to see what they say or have a conversation amongst your friends.
All right. So just so that you guys know, Teddy is in Egypt. So if you guys are just like, why is she still talking in her internet? Like she is our international co-host for the Melanated Air Hour. Normally we're gonna be having these difficulties, but she's in Egypt, and apparently they want to be messing. They know what we're talking about. They don't want her to get out. Go ahead, Egypt. Come on through.
Go ahead, Keisha.
I agree with you, Teddy, about the conversation, like having those conversations, even when you don't agree with someone. I recently did this. Dr. Boyce Watkins, he posted something. I think it was something in regards to like reparations or something. And in the comment, someone said, I don't agree that we should have reparations. And they had their reason. And I said, you know what? I don't agree with you, but I would love to hear more of your perspective and why you feel that way. You know, and these are the type of conversations that we should be having. It should be, wait, why do you think that? Because then you have an opportunity to learn from someone. So this person said, I don't think that we should receive reparations because I feel that we would just blow it. So if someone gives us reparations, then, you know, then the Black community, we already don't spend within the community. So like, we're just going to give it back to them. And I was just like, oh, wow, like that's a really good perspective. I didn't think about it like that before. So like, how can we now have a conversation to say, well, you know, and I know we may be talking about reparations in the future. So but I don't want to get too much into it, but you know, it allowed me to, like I said, learn something, hear a different perspective, and then have a conversation with this person instead of, oh, you're stupid, right? You see that all the time. Oh, this is stupid. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's just like, there's room for both arguments and then coming together and saying, okay, how can we move forward from this? I don't know if I answered the question. I was just going off of what Teddy said.
I want to say one more point. It's also like when you have a whole argument and someone takes one sentence or one word and they just bite on it. And I was like, but I said like 50 other things. We can't do that either. We have to just be more intelligent and converse more often so that we can get to the meat of things and hear different perspectives, period.
And that's literally what cancel culture is. Cancel culture is, I don't like what you said, and I don't want you spreading that propaganda, so you're canceled. Right. That's literally what cancel culture is. I don't agree with you, and I don't want you to be able to spread that narrative or that message anymore, so you should be canceled. Now, what's her face? What's John Legend's wife's name? Chrissy Teigen. So she was in the news not too long ago for some comments that she made to someone where she said, oh, you should die. You should take your own life. Like some things, you know, again, should be canceled for that. Like I'm sure that somebody has had beef with somebody 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. You might have caught them out their name and say, you know, I wish you would. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'll throw myself out there. Like, I'll be honest, I will tell the whole goodness truth. Most of you guys know this. I was a dancer. I was a stripper, right? From like 19 to 22. And after I stopped dancing, had a baby, got my bachelor's degree, got my MBA. I'm in the process of getting my PhD. And I have worried about like, what if somebody comes back and throws my past in my face? Like, I'm 45. This happened almost 25 years ago. It's something I think about. I wonder about the things that I say. I wonder about the videos that I do. I wonder about even the content that I'm saying right now. How is somebody going to take these words that I'm speaking today and 20 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm 60 and I'm getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. And they were like, she did this video about Dave Chappelle and the LGBT community. And she said, like that, like really, like, well, here's the thing. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that I've said. I don't have to do no disclaimers about what I'm saying right now because I know what I'm saying. Yeah. But when I was 20 and I'm just out here thinking I'm living my best life, I have no regards about my future, who I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, who I'm going to become. I'm not even thinking that far ahead. I'm literally living in that moment. I have low self-esteem. I have no care for myself or my body. And I'm not saying that those are the reasons why I did it. I'm just saying my mindset at 20. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing. And now here I am, 45. So if somebody were to go, and I've had therapy, and I talked to my coach about these things, and my coach is like, fuck them. If somebody holds you, who you are today, and what you've gone through to be who you are today, if somebody can't see you and who you are today, and all they can do is go back and see 20-year-old messed up you as the stripper dancer doing what you were doing, then fuck them. You don't need them. That's not who you're talking to anyways. That's not your audience. That's not your people. They don't know you. They don't love you. Who cares? And I think that that's what cancel culture has to understand. Yeah. If it ain't for you, can't be out here just canceling people because you don't like their messaging, you don't agree with what they said, you don't like how they lived their life, you don't like the choices that they made 20 years ago. Fuck them.
Yeah, and that needs to be canceled. And nobody in this room or outside of this room should tolerate that. So when your friend is doing it, hold something against somebody to happen. That happened. That happened 20 years ago. They have developed, they have grown. Some people don't grow. Then you can hold their present life against them, not their
That's
past.
what I was going to say. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. You have to look at the person and who they are right now, not their past. And I remember when Biden was running, right? And a lot of people was coming out with, like what he said about the Black community and how he felt about the Black community in the past. It's like, can you really hold that against him? And it's just like, well, yes, I can, because I'm getting the same thing. I'm getting the same thing now. I don't see anything that has changed in regards to his opinions, so if it's the same thing or something similar, then I feel that I can hold it against you. But if you've grown, if you've evolved, and there's a lesson also, right? We could look at someone's life and say, wow, you did this in the past and now you're here. How did you get there, right? Instead of judging that person on what they did. And it just goes back to, for me, that power and that control over someone. Like, you feel like, oh, I have control or I have power over someone. I get to hang this over their head. And it's just like, but when you say fuck them, right? That's you taking your power back. That's you reclaiming your power. Like, no, you can't hold this over my head. Like, I know what I've done and I know who I am today. And I'm not ashamed of it. I've grown from it. And here I am.
Absolutely. We don't want to cancel ourselves. Right. And I think one of the things that Dave said was, he was like, I got my check. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. You cancel me if you want to. And then afterwards, so that was the special. I think he was just someplace. He just did a show somewhere. He didn't tell those same jokes, but it was an audience full of celebrities or whatever the case might be. And he was like, if this is what being canceled is like, I love it. Right. Standing in your truth, being authentic, saying what you want, and standing by it and letting the chips fall as they may.
Yeah.
Like, you can't cancel somebody that does that. You might want to, right? We can cancel people who are blatantly rude, disrespectful, and nasty. I forget old girl. She used to, Dean. She used to be a cook. She used to have this show. No.
Paula Deen?
Paula Deen, yes. Now, Paula Deen got canceled because in her today life, she was running around calling her staff the N-word and treating her staff crazy today, right? Today. Not years ago. This is what was happening right now today in her business right now. So you can get canceled for stuff that you do here right now today, but not something, has she, I mean, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be the judge and juror on that to say what you should or shouldn't do. But if you act a damn fool today, we're watching social media posts for people around here getting Black men arrested for no cause, right? And people were going after their jobs. Now, there are reasons to cancel folks. I'll say that. But they're far few in between. Yeah. And they're not for telling the truth or somebody's opinion. They are for blatantly being racist and going after somebody that can get them locked up or killed. Like, that's not okay. That's not cool. You should lose. But if you're giving your perspective and your opinion on something, you can't. Don't come after me. Don't come after me for my thoughts. How I feel.
Right.
There's a comment over to the right from a Tiffany, and she says, this is actually my sister, by the way. Hi, sissy.
Tiffany.
I was thinking about this with Kevin Samuels. Maybe this like extreme views, extreme expression of your views is a way to grow your audience by picking a side way on the left or way on the right in hopes that it creates this conversation. What do you think about that?
Say it to me one more time. I'm sorry. I was looking at the comments trying to.
I was saying that maybe not in Dave Chappelle's case, but in Kevin Samuels' case, does he really feel that way? Or is he trying to be so extreme that he's always on the topic of people's conversation?
Right.
And they either hate it, or they fall in love with it. So maybe it's a way to actually get relevant by being threatened with canceling.
I think that's why they say that there's all marketing, no press is bad press.
Publicity is bad. I was saying the same thing.
Good press is good press and bad press is good press. Okay, that's what they say. That's what we say in the marketing world. Like all press is good press.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will create bad press in order to get good press, if you know what I mean. And also there is really just this thing about building a business persona, so when I'm teaching or I'm coaching or I'm talking to my clients, I will ask them, what is your persona? Like, who do you want to be? Sorry, y'all, that's my dog. Who do you want to be online? Some people want to be a dick. Some people's persona is to be a jerk because people know that people tune into jerks. Some people's persona is, I want to be sexual and sensual. People know sex sells. Some people will build their persona around being upscale and sophisticated. I think so. You build a persona based on how you want to be represented in the media. And if somebody wants to build their persona, maybe a Kevin Samuels, I don't know, I don't watch him, I'm not sure. But if they want to build their persona around talking to Black men and Black women a particular kind of way, and I believe in the back of his mind that he probably feels and believes that what he is saying and what he's communicating is really helping. I believe that he believes that. I do believe that he believes that because I have talked to people who watch and support Kevin Samuels and they believe what he is saying. Like they be like, man, you need to tune in because he's really giving good advice. He's really helping these brothers and sisters. And he may be, because he's talking to a particular kind of individual. He has a target market. And based on the needs of his target market, he is delivering or spewing out content that addresses that market. If you're not in that market, you will not agree with it. You will not support it. So to answer your question, and this is a very long way, Keisha, I'm going to turn it up to you. I apologize. To answer your question, yes, some of this could be propaganda that's created and marketed because that's what we do from a marketing perspective.
Right.
I agree. I agree 100%. Everything you said. I actually was at a training. I meet with my mentor every Monday, and he had a guest speaker for us. And this guest speaker, he makes his millions and whatever. And he actually said that. He said he posts controversy to get people to his page. So that's all about that strategy if you decide to go that route. So yeah, I think, and I don't know if Kevin Samuel does it. I don't know Kevin Samuels. Who knows? Maybe he believes the stuff that he says. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But there are people that do exactly what you said, Teddy.
Is there anyone in the comments? If I cut out, I'm so sorry. I really am apologizing. I'm gonna get it fixed. I'm talking to my internet guy.
Uh-oh.
Literally.
I know. I'm
they were like, no cameras on right now.
Do you feel like you can't be your authentic self because of cancel culture, even in a small community, not like on a huge platform, but on your own social media? Do you feel like you can't be authentic because someone might not like what you say on your own platform?
Yep.
Yes.
We have
brands,
right?
Keisha, I'm gonna let you go first because I've been long-winded today. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say yes and
Certain
no.
issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have to say yes and no, only because for me, I know that there's a time and place for everything. So I don't feel that I'm not talking about certain things on my business page because I don't feel like that's the place for me to talk about it. So it's not that I'm not being authentic, it's just that I just don't feel comfortable because of the place that it is. You know, like it's the same thing as like I wouldn't wear a bathing suit to church, right? Like I wouldn't do that because it's just not the place for it. And I save that stuff for more so my personal page. Yeah, so I don't know. Like that's a tough one. That's a tough one for me because I
I
don't
think
think I'm not being authentic. I just really think that there's a time and place for everything.
that's the thing right there, Keisha. It's the authentic part that's catching me. That's like, I think you can still be authentic without having to push your agenda all the time, right?
Right.
So you think about people, especially we're all business owners, right? So we all have businesses that we represent. We have clients that we represent. We're helping people create businesses. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of professionalism that we have to keep, even when we're expressing our thoughts and opinions from a personal perspective.
Right.
But it's the same for people that go to work. You may be V1, pro-Black, all these things. When you go into your job, you know, we code switch, you know what I'm saying? So we get in there, we do what we got to do.
Yes,
But then when we leave, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? But that's part of it, right? We are free to speak whatever we want to say, however we want to say it. And so to that question is, there are a lot of areas where I'm super authentic. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. You need to know this, and this is how I feel. There are other things that I know are completely not popular opinion. Like I know I have some thoughts that go completely against the grain. And sometimes I don't want to argue. I don't want to debate. Somebody put over here, why hasn't religion been canceled? That's one of those things. I don't debate religion with people. I know my faith. I know what I think. I know my life. I know what I've been through, and I know how I've got through. We can't debate religion because you have your opinion and I have mine. There's no point in debating that. So sometimes I may not have that conversation. Doesn't mean I'm not being authentic. It just means I have my own life journey and walk in faith and belief. You can have yours. We don't have to debate it. I'm not going to try to bring you to my side. You definitely can't bring me to your side. So we just don't have to have that conversation. So it's not that I'm not being authentic. It's just that I get to choose. I love that I get to choose the issues that I want to push or the agendas that I want to push. And the other ones, I just either I'll keep it to myself or I'll talk about it with people who I feel comfortable talking about it with. But I think that's how we all are in various situations.
And
what about you?
That is authenticity, though. I feel like what you just said is authenticity, having that freedom to say what you want to say when you want to say it, right? So I feel like that is being true to yourself and being authentic. And there are just certain things for me on my platform that is this going to help me make money, right? Like I am trying to grow a business. So if the point of me growing this business if the point of me saying something is going to help me to get to that goal, then sure, I'll say it. But it's like, if it's not going to help me, if it's just my opinion that I just want to, you know, like not rage, but like if I'm upset about something, I just want to put it out there. Like, but what is the point? I feel that when you have a business page, like you have to be strategic, right? You have to be strategic about what you put out there, what you post. If it's not helping me to get to my goal, if it's not helping me to get to the bag, then I don't feel like I have to say it.
Right. Yes. I'm going to go against what Matthew just said.
I was just about to talk about Matthew. Go ahead.
Matthew said, if you can't be yourself, then you're a hypocrite. I disagree. It ain't everybody's business who I am. So I don't have to always tell you that. And I'm gonna leave it at that before I cut off.
That was a powerful statement. That was a powerful one sentence, Teddy. So you can leave it at that.
Everybody can't handle me in my full capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Most people can't handle us in our full capacity.
Right. And everyone doesn't deserve it.
And they don't. No, there's this TikTok that says, and they don't. Oh, my light just went out. Gosh, dog it. Oh, y'all about to get this outside light. My light just said, no, ma'am. Okay.
Come
Let's
on,
see.
like, don't do us like
Come on, like, yeah, it's okay. We got a little natural.
Everybody doesn't deserve your authentic self. I mean, your transparent self.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think transparency.
To you.
Teddy, you coming in and out.
I'm sorry, I just said, and everyone doesn't deserve my energy, so I'm not going to give it to you.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we do in our community is we have this keeping it real thing, where keeping it real means going off. I mean, it means a variety of different things to a variety of different people. Sometimes keeping it real is just being quiet. Like, you know what? I'm gonna let you have that thought.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you walk away with that one.
Yes.
You don't always have to have the last word. You don't always got to share your opinion. Sometimes that is keeping real. Sometimes my son's grandmother says this all the time. I could show you better than I can tell you. Please tell me that when I was younger, fast, too much. And she would try to give me advice, and I would be like, "Nah, I think I'm gonna do it this way." She'd be like, "All right," and that was her word version of keeping it real.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
and she's like, "I can show you better than I can tell you. I ain't gonna tell you nothing else. Go on out there and do what you want to do."
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's keeping it real. Like, it's not being a hypocrite. Sometimes we just gotta let people live. Like, that's the whole thing with cancel culture. Like, just because it's not your way, don't mean it's wrong.
Exactly.
It just means it's somebody else's way, and that's okay for them.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Let me see. Sorry, Tiffany. Come on, Tiffany. What she said?
There you go.
I mean, that's part of it. I mean, everybody's out here to grow platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, why don't y'all go ahead and follow? Make sure you are following each one of these women you see on the screen right now. Support us. You can follow me on social media at I am Lene Javette. You can follow Teddy at The Real Teddy Talks. You can follow Keisha at We Inspire Brand, not an S. We're going to go ahead and start shutting down for today. This has been a great conversation on cancel culture. We talked about Dave Chappelle. We talked about a variety of different people. Again, this conversation was sparked because of Dave Chappelle, but this movement of cancel culture where people can't be their authentic self, they can't speak their mind, they can't give their own opinion because you have to worry about hurting somebody's feelings. And if you hurt their feelings, then you can't make a living anymore. That's the conversation. Like, that has to stop. And if it's not going to stop, then we need to start canceling some shit that really needs to get canceled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rap music, lyrics, pedophilia, rapists, negativity, down talking each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some real stuff that should be canceled.
Right.
People's careers because they have an opinion that belongs to them. That's just not one of them. So I'll go around the room one last time before we head out. Teddy, what are your final thoughts for today?
Wholeheartedly. Some things should be canceled, and a person's opinion in a safe space in a non-malicious way should not be it. So don't be party to it, and try to make it better and have intelligent conversations. Period.
Boom.
I agree. I'm going to piggyback off of that, Teddy, and just say be open, right? Be open to hearing others' thoughts and opinions, even if you don't agree with it. It's okay to disagree, but I feel that we can find harmony in disagreements where there's respect, right? We can find forward movement if we respect each other, no matter what the stance is. And that's where we're going to grow as a community and as a people. So like I said, just be open. Don't go just canceling someone just because they said something that you didn't like, and be open, respect.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All I got for today is don't be out here canceling folks if you don't want to be canceled.
Right.
That's literally all I got.
Right.
We've all said something that if somebody could come back and repeat it, we would cringe.
Yeah.
We have all done something, been somewhere. Like, there's grace, right? We have to give each other grace, be more empathetic, more understanding. And really, stop being out here canceling folks for their thoughts and their opinions. If somebody could sit and listen to your phone call with your best friend and hear what you really think and thought and did and done, you would be canceled. And I'm not saying that you
I
would. Give other folks that same grace. And again, I'm talking about stuff that should be given grace. If somebody out here acting a plum ass fool, they don't get no grace. Like I shouldn't have to explain that, but there's gonna be somebody out there that takes my word. She said no. If you deserve to be canceled, you deserve to be canceled. But we out here just with the cancel wand. Just you should be canceled, and you should be canceled, and you should be canceled. For whatever reason, we should operate like that. Okay. With that being said, we will see you guys on Thursday. We will see you guys on Thursday for the next Melanated Air Hour. We will probably have Madam President will be with us on Thursday, and Faye Bishop will be here on Thursday. If you have not already liked us, subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumb up. A share, do that now, because other folks need to come and join this conversation. We love chit-chatting and talking with you guys. I saw one of the comments that says, can people join us live on a link? Not yet. Maybe in the future, we may be able to do that where we can have people actually join us in the live conversation. But we're not there yet. So in the future, we may do that, give you guys an opportunity to actually join us live so that we can actually hear from you. So we'll see how that goes. That might be something that we can do. So definitely keep tuning in, keep chiming in. We appreciate you. We love you. Make sure you go and support us on our social media channels. Again, just in case you don't see them, I am Lanique Javette at The Real Teddy Talks, and we inspire brand. And we will see you guys on Thursday at 2:00 Eastern on the channel that you're watching us currently. Peace.
Love y'all. Bye.